Van life. It's a buzzword, it's a trend. On Instagram, it's photos near a beach of dramatic scenery and retro vans. On YouTube, it's disaster stories and non-stop clickbait. But van life, it's so much more than that. Van life is freedom and exploration. It's the unforgettable adventures. It's the disastrous trips full of problems with your van, and it's the constant fight to find that goddamn squeak. More importantly, it's the people that you meet, the like-minded friends that you make, the different walks of life, all converging on a lifestyle that the uninitiated just don't understand. So to the why don't you just go abroad people, you just don't get it. Yes, we could just go abroad, and yes, it can be expensive, but that's not why we do it. Owning a van is like having kids. Sometimes you just want to slap them stupid, but you don't, because you love them. There are highs, amazing highs, but there are also lows. And although the journey is full of bumps and dead-end roads, we love every second of it. This video is about my journey. It's about our journey through the problems, the love, and the hate. We're heading on a road trip, and we're going to be doing something that I haven't done since I was a kid, and I can't wait. I absolutely hate packing the camper van. I'm packing the van and planning the trip. Well, they're my jobs, and I'm normally pretty good at it, except, well, when I'm not. There's a reason Danny's sitting in the driver's seat with a dressing gown and a wool hat on, and that's because, well, somewhere between 11ish and 1, when we went to sleep, the gas had run out, so the heating went off. Now the temperature got down to -18 outside last night, and when we checked this morning when we got up, it was -6 inside the van. That night it had getting so cold that even this happened. This is an example of how cold it is. I can't get any out. Are you winding me up?
I've got dog breath slow today.
Oh God, no. So normally I'm better prepared than that. However, my favourite part of the process actually starts on that thing. There's something about opening a new internet window with a rough location in mind and beginning to type. Websites, blogs, maps, laptops, iPad, iPhone, living room, kitchen, office. Planning a road trip is by far my favourite part, other than being actually on the road trip. But if it's not your favourite part, then don't worry. If you want to head to the Cairngorms, the Isle of Arran, the Isle of Mull, or whether you want to do the ultimate Scottish road trip, then my guides have got you covered. Each of the guides feature park-up locations, things to do, places to visit, as well as any service locations for things like LPG or chemical waste disposal, as well as top food spots in our 5 favourite must-see locations. The guides cost less than a coffee. They're only £4 each, and now you can also buy all 4 guides for £10. The link is in the description below. Now it's time to start loading everything into the van. Now, like most blokes, once you buy a van, you unwittingly become a bit of a small business owner, more specifically a shopkeeper. Now, what I mean by that is when you get home from a trip, you've got your van dialed in, you've got the basics, you've got the things that live in your van because they're for the van, but they're not, because your partner decides that whenever there's nothing in the house, rather than go to a shop and, let's say, buy some of it, they just come in and pillage the van. So basically these days, part and parcel of my pre-trip prep is to do a recce around the van and see what survived Danny's week-long relentless attack. Considering that planning is one of my favourite parts of the whole process, you'd presume that I would get it right, well, most of the time. And to be honest, now I think of it, it's not actually the case.
Uh-oh. I don't know whether that's right though, it's permanently closed on Apple Maps.
This is a nightmare. This then meant, rather than sleeping at Kerrang, which is one of the best views I've ever seen in my life, we ended up parking here for the night. So this is where we've had to pick. There's always a spot to sleep on the side of the road. And then there was also that time when we attempted to do a full week road trip for less than £200. It's a challenge, a series that I've put on YouTube. And on that occasion, well, I messed up the fuel calculations just a tiny bit. I told Danny she'd have roughly about 70 quid to feed us for the full week and all of that sort of stuff. I got that wrong. I know Danny will have the utmost confidence in my planning abilities.
Absolutely zero confidence in this.
However, I hadn't realised that, to be honest, I get about 370 mile off a full tank. This trip's 450. Van all packed, ready for a Starbucks. Go and grab one of them, come back, pick Danny up, and then, well, head off. Now, over the last 12 months, we've actually spent over 29 weeks living in this van. We've drove over 35,000 miles in total as well, which is, well, it's quite a bit really. And I wasn't going to call this video "What is van life?" because I thought van life was if you lived in your van full time, and well, the definition of van life is actually living in a van full or part time, and we've definitely spent more time living in the van than we have at home. Now, I wanted to talk about, obviously the last year everything's changed a lot because I was spending so much time in the van. My sort of values and what I appreciate the most have actually changed quite considerably. Now, previously it was a lovely change going from the California ocean to the Grand California, having the wet room, the shower, the toilet, a nice, well, decent sized kitchen, and the ability to be able to stand up most of all. But that isn't the be all and end all for me now. I think too much focus gets put on the van itself. And yes, there's some beautiful vans on Instagram, there's some amazing vans on YouTube as well, but it's not about the van. It's about the adventure, it's about the road trip, it's about just getting out there and seeing new things, going to new places and meeting new people. And that's ultimately what I love the most about van life. So if I didn't have this van and I just had a panel van with a mattress in the back and a portable camping stove, I'd be happy enough with that. If I had an old motorhome that had all the stuff and it was all dropping to bits, I'd be happy enough with that. Providing that I can still get out and do the adventures and go and see and do the things that I enjoy doing, that's what I get the most out of the camper van. Try and sort that rattle out. It literally sounds like we've got a drum kit in the drawer. What the hell is that? I dare say for the first half hour of every single trip, we spend most of the time driving a little bit, stopping to figure out what the hell is rattling. It's weird how I can have everything perfectly packed and then Danny hasn't put anything in the drawers, and then all of a sudden everything's rattling again. Are we sorted, dear? All done.
Sorted.
Well, this is the camp for the night. Nice little corner plot out the way, grass pitch, means we can get the awning up, fire pit out, the lot. Now, I'm not entirely convinced that there's anything any cooler accessory wise for a camper van than a tyre table, and loads of people have never seen them before. I hadn't seen them before, and I need to thank Aidan from Urban Arc Overland for introducing us to it, because they are one of the coolest looking things and most useful things that you can actually buy. They're not the cheapest thing in the world, but they look cool and they work great. The next completely non-essential bit of kit, but looks cool as out, is this fire pit thing. And I'll show you a little bit more about it later on, but it's actually Bluetooth controlled. And I know that might sound unnecessary, and it is, but it's Bluetooth controlled, and that's its selling point, because, well, we all love a good gadget, even a fully unnecessary one. We've had some spectacular park locations over the last year. Scotland is obviously by far our favourite in the whole of the UK. However, Norway, that was just on another level. There were some pretty beautiful park ups, and to be honest, we've also had kind of the other end of the spectrum where, to be honest, the view's been fine, but sometimes you just wake up next to some pretty noisy neighbours, and that's what happened to us in Galloway. I can't lie, it feels like I'm in a little bit of a horror film. They're all black as well, they look evil, all of them. They've got like grey tongues, is that normal? I must have left it. I'll go and grab it. What a lovely treat. All done and dusted. The dogs are happy as Larry. We're in the garden. Funnily enough, the idea came kind of from, we met a couple when we were at some van festival thing last year who actually go camping in the van, literally down the road from their house. And I thought, like, I haven't done anything like this since I was a kid. I used to love camping in the garden, in a tent, in the sitting room, just under the sort of clothes horse with a towel over the top of it, sort of pretending it was a proper campsite. And I loved it as a kid. And to be fair, we're not going away for the next week or so, so I thought, why not just have a full-on setup in the garden? It's ideal. It has, it's been good. It's actually made us miss being away a little bit, to be honest. So I started planning this video about a month ago now. Started shooting it a week ago. It's took us about a week to get to this point because I've changed my idea for the video so many times, just basically because my opinion on what van life means to me has changed completely the more I've thought about it. Initially I thought it was about the places we get to go, and yes, that is a big chunk of it, I'm not going to lie. However, I challenge anyone to do this. Yes, you might not have a huge garden, you might not be able to park it on the grass and set all this up. You don't have to. There's places, go on Park for Night, find little spots near where you live and just go for it. Have a look at road trips that are literally around your doorstep, and you'll be very surprised how much you see on that road trip that you'd never necessarily noticed properly before. We'd done the Northumberland 250 and we found that there. I've spent so much time in Northumberland over the years and I've never seen it the way I've seen it when we've done the actual Northumberland 250. The process of making this video has been great fun. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been nice to have a video to chip away at over the sort of course of a week. If I did sort of fool you in terms of you not realising that this part in this initial section of the video was actually shot in my garden, then let us know in the comments below if you kind of gathered that early on. Again, you can pull us apart in the comments below. But I challenge any of you to do this, just to have a little camp out, be a kid again, enjoy it, and sort of use your van. I mean, we've done, like I said in the earlier part, like 35,000 miles in this thing in the last year, and that's what it's there for. It's there to be used and sometimes abused a little bit. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Pop in the comments below and let us know about your van life experiences, what you love, what you hate, what you would change about van life. And as well, remember, the guides are there, so if you want to go on some of the best road trips in the UK, buy the guides, £4 each. The link is in the description.